especially those who are in the APC, who believe that they have something in common with the North, their religion. You understand that there are Yoruba Muslims, right? Fanatics, who kind of feel like they are Fulanis too, because of their religion with the North. Even though nobody really gives a shit about them per se. But they just like pretty much like wannabe Muslims or wannabe terrorists who are probably presently don't even have what it takes to behead someone, but they will get there. Hopefully, they hope they will get there. So another thing to get them have something they will call, something they share in common with this northern terrorist. Again, religion. So to them, anyone insulting the Sultan of Sokoto is insulting Islam. And they are not going to take that lightly with anyone. Right? So this next 2 years, or maybe 6 years, if Tifnumbu rigged himself again, right? So their agenda obviously is clear. It is going to be religious and inciting religious, possible religious war in Yorubaland. So I was on one of their gathering online yesterday. Not really was there per se until one of their contributors, statements actually caught my attention. There is this mad person from Kogi, right? He's been tagged Kogi Jihadist. So when the Sultan of Sokoto said that the rejection of Sharia by the Yorubas is a disappointing stop for him, and also it showed that Yorubas are not allowing Yoruba Muslims, to practice their religion. A complete falsehood, lies. Up to this moment, people are practicing their religion as they deem fit. But again, the agenda is to rile people and possibly activate a religious crisis in Yorubaland. And that is what their Muslim ticket agenda is going to unravel. The last time their agenda was the Fulanization agenda, and it got defeated, astoundingly. And that is why today, yes, they are still in our forests, perpetuating all kinds of terrorism, kidnapping our people for ransom. Indeed. In fact, some of them even believe that it is just a matter of time that they would have their day when they will round all of us up, because they've already surrounded us in Yorubaland. But this is also in their heads, okay? Because they will always try. Unfortunately, we have weak men and weak women, who are currently parading themselves as political leaders of Yorubaland. But even at that, the general resolve of the people is that if we say no to this, and everybody says no to this, not even the weakest political rogues in Yorubaland can make that happen. So, in their gathering, this madman, this mad mofo from Kogi, now said, who practically claimed to be Yoruba, but again, he is not really proud to be Yoruba, because according to him, he feels so sad that a part of him is Yoruba and a part of him is Fulani. That it seems that it is time for them to start a jihad in Yorubaland. What does that even mean? A jihad to start a Sharia? Do. How about you start your jihad right now and watch even your own supposed fellow Muslim capture you and beat you to stupor? So they were having this conversation online, and a copy of that is here with us tonight. But first thing first, when the Are Ona Kakanfo, Iba Gani Adam, right, had this to say earlier on the matter, right? Let's start with this.
láti wá fi Sharia òfin Sharia da ilẹ̀ Yorùbá rú. Ìdí mo sọ̀rọ̀ yìí bàbá mi Muslim ni. Sharia wà nínú Al-Quran gẹ́gẹ́ bí òfin. Ṣùgbọ́n bí àwọn ará bí ṣe ń lo Sharia nílùú Nàìjíríà ó lọ́wọ́ òṣèlú nú. Ó dẹ̀ ní ọwọ́ ìmúnilóko ẹrú ẹ̀sìn nú. Ó dẹ̀ ní ọwọ́ jàǹbá nínú. Sharia tí wọ́n ń lò ní Zamfara. Àmọ́ jàǹbá tó fi ṣe fún gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn Kristẹni tó wà ní Zamfara. Àdẹ̀mọ́ jàǹbá tó fi ṣe fún àwọn ẹ̀yà tí ò ṣe ẹ̀yà Fúlàní àtàwùsá ní Zamfara. Nàìjíríà. Abdulsalam ló sneaky penal code wọnú ẹ̀ ní 1999. Kò sí ní 1960 constitution tá a gbà papọ̀ pé MC Sharia kò sí ní òfin wa. Kò sínú Republic constitution pé Sharia wà ní òfin wa. 1979 constitution kò sí Sharia bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ní àfàlà àgbà tó fẹ́ gbẹ̀gbẹ̀rẹ̀ fún àwọn ìjọba alágbádá ló fi Sharia wọnú ẹ̀ fún Professor Wadidu tó jẹ́ special adviser on religion matters. Legal matter, sorry, nígbà yẹn. Àtìgbà yẹn ní òkè ọya wàhálà lẹ́ẹ̀ni wàhálà lọ́la ni nítorí Sharia àti ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn alákatakítí. Ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, Muslim, Christian àti ẹ̀sìn alábàláyé wọ́n fẹ́ra wọn tako ara wọn. Yorùbá ò gbé ẹ̀sìn alákatakítí sórí. Ìwà ni Yorùbá máa ń wò, ọmọlúwàbí la máa ń wò, àwọn ẹ̀sìn tí a tó mọ èèyàn gidi. So mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn ìjọba wá sí ìwé àti mo ti rí Ogun State Governor tó ti condemn in totality. Mo ti rí Ekiti State Governor tó ti condemn in totality. Mo ti rí Ọ̀yọ́ State Governor wọ́n ti condemn náà. Èdè wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo condemn in totality wípé a fẹ́ Sharia.
Oh, go fail. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. Let me give you a bit of a recap of what Yoruba Gani Adams said there. According to him, it was Abdulsalami Abubakar that smuggled this Sharia nonsense into the constitution of Nigeria, the Decree 24, military constitution of Abdulsalami Abubakar. Yoruba Gani Adams went the memory lane by saying, in the 1960, 1963, and 1979 constitutions of Nigeria, there was nothing called Sharia. That yes, there is Sharia in the Quran for the religious people. However, we have seen what they have used their Sharia to do to other religious bodies in the northern part of Nigeria, especially Christians. How they, because their Sharia is not the same Sharia you have in that Quran. Their own Sharia is mainly political Sharia. It is a Sharia that is all for control and subjugation of non-Muslims, so to say. And he's very right. So this is where the complexity, it's not that complex, so deep, but this is where the complexity comes in. A normal Muslim, a normal Muslim, like a proper Muslims will be like, may likely get offended when you say, we don't want Sharia. Because to him, it's maybe sounding as if like, I don't want your religion. And you know, people out of that, dismissal can say a lot of things. And somebody who is a Muslim can begin to take offense and be like, well, why are you saying all of this about Islam? Why are you, you know what I mean? So that is why the extremists, right? We call them the Alakatakiti Esin, all right? The extremists would always give themselves up because their own utterances, right? If you listen to them, right, you can tell why you must resist anything called Sharia in any part of Nigeria to start with, but maybe too late some places. But in Yorubaland, it will not happen. Don't fret yourself over anything. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because when you listen to those who are proposing this, all you have to worry about, the reason why you have to be worried about that nonsense Sharia is more pronounced in what they are saying. You can tell that they are calling those who are like Yoruba Muslims who have been existing before Uthman Danfodio, before the birth of Danfodio, before they even brought the same Islam to northern part of Nigeria. Historically, it's been down south. It's actually been in Yorubaland. They've been practicing this Islam, that in Yorubaland, right? Hundreds of years before Uthman Danfodio found his way to Gobiri and the rest of the northern part of Nigeria in 1804. So it's not them that will come and teach you about Islam. That's what the Yorubas are saying, you know, that it's not be you Fulanis who teach Yorubas about Islam. And therefore, we are not going to follow your own type of Islam that is mainly intolerance of others. If you want to know, in northern part of Nigeria, their fake Sharia there, which is their own Fulani Sharia per se. During the Ramadan, you are expected, all of you are expected, right, to abide by the rules set by them, whether you are a Muslim or non-Muslim. If you are a non-Muslim, you have to obey it. They will send out their, their Isba to go out and arrest people, right, for not obeying the Ramadan rules, what have you. They get people who are actually non-Muslims beaten up. They have non-Muslims tried in their Sharia court and sentenced to death. Jetau, remember the Jetau, that lady that was recently released, all because she was sharing the video condemning the killings of Deborah. So the intolerance in them is, if you get killed by them, you will see the rest of their, you know, their Muslims or what have you in northern Nigeria justifying the killings of non-Muslims by some mob terrorists called, Islamic fanatics in northern Nigeria. So we have seen a lot from far, right, to resist them. And like I said, just listen to the way they speak, the way they talk. Everything that you have to fear about the purpose or the agenda of their Sharia is widely pronounced, loudly pronounced in what they say. So this mofo from Kogi, who said that it seems there should be a jihad. What do you mean jihad? Does that mean that you have to fight us? Like you have to gather some Muslim army to come and fight us in Yorubaland, Abi? Because what do you mean by jihad? Jihad in Yorubaland. There must be, it's time for jihad, right? So let's go listen to this chat. I mean, it's a long one, okay? But here is the first part. Watch it or listen to this.
Peace and progress. I think if you want to have a very decent conversation, there are some characters. Particularly as regard them. For me, I don't know if it is still a cruise to some people, but it has now gone beyond cruise. You know, when the life and religion of a group of people is being threatened on their own soil, you know, where they want, some group of people want to turn a fellow, their fellow countrymen and tribemen into second-class citizens in their own father's land because they practice certain religion. That is no longer, it shouldn't be taken for a joke. I mean, no agenda should even be tolerated. My joy is I'm not from the southwest, and I'm not living in the southwest. And God forbid that I'll be in the southwest and then I will have some people want to dictate to me on how to practice my religion. It will never happen. I'd rather die than succumb to that kind of mental slavery. Again, I can never be from the southwest or live in the southwest and then tolerate what the Muslim Ummah are tolerating in southwest today. And it is gradually spreading. You could see what they are doing to the Sultan of Sokoto, the president of the NSCIA, where you have a bunch of vagabonds, and you have a bunch of subliterate, untrained, uncircumcised Yoruba nation terrorists, and their uchens, unleashing all sorts of unprintable names on the person and office of the Sultan simply because he is playing his role as the leader of the Muslim Ummah in Nigeria. But you do not see that kind of attack when the current president speaks for northern Christians. You will never see any northerner come and question what is why the current president is meddling in the affairs of Hausa Christians, Fulani Christians, Kanuri Christians, Kakanda Christians, and so on and so forth. And so when you now have a particular tribe, and I keep saying it, Yoruba tribe fell so horribly. I don't know where we got it wrong, but it is, I am ashamed that I even have, traces of Yoruba heritage. When I look at what has happened in the last few hours or few months since, the ISP conversation took off, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the people we have even been putting our eyes on as being the most intolerant in terms of religion is very far from it. I say publicly and openly here that the Yoruba non-Muslims are the most intolerant human beings in all ramifications. I mean, not just intolerance against Christianity, against Islam. They are the most intolerant, especially those that tag themselves conservatives. And they have one thing in common. These are people that they don't exist off social media. That is one. Secondly, these are people that they can't even point you to their father's house in that so-called Yoruba land. So it is no longer a cruise, it is now very clear that there is an agenda to completely ostracize Muslims and Islam from southwest Nigeria. And this is where jihad conversation come about. For those of you bastard that you don't know the meaning of jihad, record the conversation. I want to repeat it again. This is now the time that jihad conversation should be taking place now. You're right.
Nuisance lele.
You dey hear him? He's from Kogi, probably from Yagba. Give me the names of the Yoruba communities that are part of Kogi. Is it called Yagba? There's another one from Keneridinos area. Kaba. Kaba. Yagba. And where? Egbe. Mopa. Okun. A Muslim from that place who said he is ashamed of his Yoruba connection. Obviously, maybe his mom is Yoruba, his dad is Fulani, or his dad is Yoruba, his mom is Fulani, and all of that. So these are the weak men we are talking about. Intolerance, Egbamike. Number one, he said he's not living in Yorubaland. So, I mean, fear that somebody like that is not living in Yorubaland. So he's probably never really been to Yorubaland per se. So he's talking about it. So who is not tolerance of the Muslims? I mean, now in Yorubaland,